It feels like one day we were just talking about generative AI, and the next, it's sitting at the desk next to us. It's not some far-off idea anymore. It's a tool, a partner. For a lot of us, it's basically a new coworker. So the big question on everyone's mind is, now that it's here, what does this really mean for how we all get work done?
Okay, if you've ever been on a hiring committee, you know this feeling all too well. You post one job opening, and boom, your inbox is just flooded. It's this massive wave of applications, and you're just trying to keep your head above water, let alone give every single person a fair look. And just to put a number on that feeling, the average corporate job gets more than 250 applications. That's a literal mountain of information for any human team to climb. Trying to find that one perfect candidate in all of that, it's a classic case of information overload.
But then, in walks generative AI. And the sales pitch? It's pretty amazing. The promise is a tool that can instantly read every single one of those 250 resumes, analyze all the cover letters, and just hand you the top candidates in seconds. It's the ultimate efficiency dream.
Sounds incredible, right? A total game changer. But wait a minute. This is where we have to pause. Because when you hand over a decision that important, who even gets a chance, who gets in the door for an interview, can we really truly trust the machine's judgment? What might we be giving up for all that speed? And that one question, well, it opens up a whole can of worms. Because beyond that shiny promise of efficiency, putting AI to work brings up at least 3 pretty big, kind of hidden challenges that, frankly, every company needs to start thinking about right now.
So first up is something called the alignment problem. And here's the deal. It's one thing to tell an AI to find you a leader, but it's a completely different challenge to teach it what your company's actual values are. The things about your culture that you can't just boil down to a few keywords on a job description.
And this is a perfect example of that disconnect. Let's say your goal is to find a truly creative, forward-thinking leader. But the AI? It just scans for patterns. It sees that past hires used words like optimized and managed a lot, so it just flags more of the same. The AI finds a pattern, sure, but it completely misses the point of what you were actually looking for.
Which brings us right to our second big challenge. For an AI to get any smarter, for it to learn and get better aligned with what you want, it needs one thing: data, and lots of it. And in an office, where does that data come from? Well, it's your internal documents, your emails, your customer chats, your employee performance reviews, everything. And this is where things get really tricky, ethically speaking. Do your employees even have a clue that their work is being used to train an algorithm? Should they be able to opt out? And here's a big one. When the AI comes up with some brilliant idea based on all their work, who owns that idea? These aren't small questions. They're fundamental questions about privacy and ownership. Now, even with all these serious issues, the reason this train keeps moving forward is pretty simple. The efficiency gains are just undeniable. Look at this. The time a team might spend on a task like screening resumes just plummets. That potential jump in productivity is just too massive for any company to ignore. Which leads us straight into our third and final challenge. So when you see a tool that creates that much efficiency, you have to ask the really big question about people's jobs. Is this technology just augmenting what we do, freeing us up from boring tasks so we can be more strategic? Or is it flat out replacing the very tasks that used to make up someone's entire job? Is it a helper or is it a replacement? That's the core debate right there. Okay, so we've got these major challenges: alignment, privacy, and the huge impacts on jobs. So now what? What's the path forward? Well, the general idea is that this isn't about slamming on the brakes on AI. It's about getting into the driver's seat. It's about actively steering this technology where we want it to go, guided by our values. And really, this all boils down to 3 critical questions that every single leader needs to be asking themselves like yesterday. First, alignment. How do we actually weave our core values into these tools, not just buzzwords? Second, policy. What is our clear, official stance on data privacy and AI? And third, people. What's our plan to build up our team's skills, not just automate away their tasks? Seriously, the way we answer these questions isn't just going to shape our companies, it's going to define the entire future of work.